honor the treaties, reaffirm our relationships with one another, and move forward together in a spirit of truth, reconciliation, and collaboration. We'll call to order at 7 p.m.
Doing it before he gets fired.
That the agenda for the January 13th, 2025 meeting be approved as amended or presented and attached to form part of the said minutes. And does the administration have anything to add today?
No, we do not.
Council, anything at all? Okay. All those in favor? That's carried. Declaration of conflict of interest. You guys will have a chance to look over the agenda. Do you see anything you need to declare tonight? Okay, if you missed it and it comes up, make sure you let us know. And yeah, welcome back to the first meeting, first council meeting. So next up, that the minutes of the December 9th, 2024 regular meeting of council and the minutes of the December 6th, 2024 and December 23rd, 2024 special meetings of council be approved as presented. Everybody had a chance to review the minutes. Any questions or issues? Okay, all those in favor? That's carried. Okay, moving on to business arising. We've got bylaw 1189/24, the repeal bylaw. Unfortunately, at our last council meeting, we missed the last reading. We didn't have the motion drawn up sitting there, so it got missed. So we're just playing catch up to get this final reading done. So that bylaw number 1189/24, being a bylaw to repeal bylaws, be read a third time and finally adopted. Everybody's had a chance to read and review. And any questions or comments? All those in favor? That's carried. Down to the financial reports. That the financial statements for the period ending November 30th, 2024 be approved as presented. Councilor Stewart. Do we have any questions or comments on the financial statements? Anything to elaborate on, Maria?
No.
Okay. Any questions? All those in favor? That's carried. That the financial reports for January 13, 2025 be approved as presented. Do we have any questions or comments on the financial report? Councillor Watts?
I just noticed that there's some fraud amounts on the Visa. Are they been requested to be reimbursed?
Yep, the card has been cancelled and reissued, and we've requested to get reimbursed.
Do we have any other questions or comments? All those in favor? That is carried. That the reports of senior administrative officials reported as items 9.1 to 9.2.4 be received and filed. All those in favor? That the CAO monthly report be received and filed. And Tisha?
Sure, just a couple things I'd like to highlight is we haven't received any applications for our animal control officer position. We continue to advertise it, and in the meanwhile, our protective services department, bylaw officer, the deputy fire chief, and Chief Paul are looking after the phone and taking any calls that come in. We'll just we'll keep advertising it, and hopefully somebody will come soon. I've noticed a bit of scuttle on social media, people are talking about it now, so maybe something will come. Now that I've seen people talking about it, maybe something will come up. Both units of the duplex have been rented, the new doctor will be in. She was going to move in on the weekend, but she postponed back to tomorrow. Our municipal accounting system has been rolled over to 2025. And, our building bylaw has been conditionally approved by the province. There's just a few amendments that we need to make. And, Jeff will have that at probably the next council meeting, those amendments, but the bylaw itself has been approved. Those are just the highlights.
Thank you, Michelle. Do we have any questions or comments? All right, all those in favor? That's carried. That the Leisure Services Department monthly report be received and filed. Councillor Pass. And Chelsea.
Thank you. So we've had a busy little bit. We did host the Viterra Ladies Last Chance Playdowns in January. That event went over really well. We've had lots of positive feedback about the facility and the community in general. So thank you to the Curling Club for hosting that. I'll skip down to the bottom. The museum board held their AGM a couple weeks ago. I think we were there. Both the chairperson and vice chairperson have stepped down from their positions. So currently those two positions are vacant, and we are just exploring our options to address that gap right now. I'll bring more information to council when I have some. The arena lobby, we have had some concerns, and we do generally every year, about the temperature of the lobby. We do keep it at approximately 12 degrees, which ensures that we have good ice, especially at the lobby and wall. During Hawks games, we do shut the system off when we're able to. So typically in the fall and the spring, we're not able to, but we do shut the system down just so that people don't feel the circulating of air. That's typically what the concern is that the air circulates. And it's depending on the day, if there's a tournament or a few things happening in the arena, it does heat up by the end of the day, so it does get quite a bit warmer in there by the end of the day, which does affect our ice. Also, our ATM is currently down at the arena. We're just waiting for a new mainframe. So if council hears that concern, we are just on hold waiting for that piece of equipment to come in. And our ISIP grant for the Jubilee dressing room was finalized and sent in. So that project is complete, although the auditors did question, and some council will be surprised by this, I'm sure. They questioned the rationale for the overhead door being required. So that information was sent to the auditors, and I think they'll be satisfied with the requirements as it was building code. So that's that. Any questions?
Thank you. Jeff.
Just give them Unico their phone number, they can call and ask them that question, because I still don't know why.
Yeah, I almost did. But I was able to, Jeff was able to provide me with some documentation to send in with my email, just with the building codes requirements, so it was good.
Do we have any other questions or comments?
You mentioned Unicode, but I better not get started.
I think Councillor Vic missed that too.
I'm trying to get
Sorry.
my computer to work.
Sorry.
Honestly, like it's not working.
Alright, we'll just keep rolling though. Okay, all those in favor? That's good. fire department monthly report be received and filed. And Paul.
Yeah, so we ended up having a fairly busy December. Quite a few calls. As per always, we talk about the fact that we don't want to jinx things, and when we mention it, we totally jinx it. We talked about the fact that we didn't have many calls last year between Christmas, and we promptly got 5. So again, very, very fortunate that there was not a lot that involved injury or anything like that. We did see an increase in MVCs, the most we had all year in the month of December. Probably right around New Year's and heading into the new year, we had another one. We did end up with 10 more calls than we had last year. I have just completed my annual report, which I'll be providing to the Operations Standing Committee, and I will be sharing with the fire partners as well. And yes, unfortunately, we did have another incident at MTN with individuals that are putting sharps into the recycling bin. That was the remainder of my day today after going there, was going and checking some more recycling bins around town. I did find a bunch that didn't contain any sharps materials, but did contain garbage and other things, so I provided education to those individuals and did let them know that some of these things should be going into the black bin, not the blue bin. There is clearly a difference between the two, which I think maybe some people just don't understand that concept. Other than that, again, I was playing up the positivity on our handing out our awards. I got the actual pictures of this time, and the rest I'll save for you for operations on Wednesday, because I know you're all waiting with bated breath.
Thank you, Paul. Do we have any questions or comments? Les?
Do you go to the same cans regularly, or?
We try not to make it look like we're going after any target. We have some addresses that have been shared to us from MTN. They have a pretty good idea of what we're looking for, and that's not just for sharps, but for other things that they pointed out to us. So we've been dropping in. When we do it, though, we try and get a whole bunch in a row. So again, we're not just picking on one household. We're kind of making it, everyone's covered with the same brush.
Is there a point where a deterrent needs to be created?
Absolutely. We have let these homeowners know when we found stuff that we can say there are fines that can be levied, and MTN can just plain old they already not pick up the bins. They can just start refusing to do the pickups, because we've had, I believe now it's 3 full recycling bins that have been scooped up and then taken to the dump. So at some point the recycling program could be in jeopardy. It's not just
Those people need to be accountable then somehow.
but absolutely, yeah, 100%. So there is certainly a bylaw in place for that. So, and that's what we have been through the direction of MTN generally, but we have talked with Public Works quite a bit as well.
And just to add to it, so if there's a couple containers, the whole load comes out to landfill, not just the whole load. So now we're dumping that into our cell where it shouldn't be. And we made, about a year ago, we made tags that if your garbage can is tagged, there'll be no pickup for like 30 days as punishment. We were looking at stuff like that too. Yeah.
I think the downside to that is we end up with garbage overflowing into people's yards.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Right.
And fines too, that are difficult to enforce.
Again, we go after the homeowner, not the resident, not the tenant. So the landlords, again, if we squeeze the landlords, that
Maybe that's what's.
yeah, that's
Because we're talking about a lot of safety out there. If
100%.
somebody gets pricked by a needle.
But you do have that tool.
Oh yeah. Whether it needs more teeth or not is certainly something we can look at.
With more weight.
100%.
I did also have one question about the that shed structure fire. Did it just relight, like there was just some embers below?
Yeah, there
it
was
relit?
the fuel load inside that shed. That shed was right full, like stacked full, and we ripped it down as far as we could. We chased, we ripped walls apart. We went down. It started under the floor, and then it got up into a couch. So that's how the rekindle had started. Generally, we don't leave unless we've got everything kind of done. But when the weather gets really cold, and you don't want to be on scene, and it was one of those things where checked, double checked, triple checked, ripped walls apart, did everything we possibly could, and then, 2 hours later for it to relight again, it was still there. Would it have gone anywhere? No. But again, it's one of those things where not something you wanna have happen.
Any other questions or comments for Paul? All those in favor? That's carried. That the Operations and Engineering Services Department monthly report be received and filed. And Jamie?
Not much really to report, but I will give you an update. We were hoping to have the landfill office delivered this week, but earlier today I found out that they put a 100 amp box in there and it's supposed to be 200 amp, so I told them to change it over, so they're gonna be working on that, so hopefully we get that office within the next 2 weeks. I'm hoping, so. And then that will be dropped off, and then in the spring that will be put on its piles and skirted and everything. With the well dug and the septic holding tank installed.
Thank you, Jamie.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Do we have any questions or comments? Okay, all those in favor? It's carried. That the Land Planning Department monthly report be received and filed. Jeff?
The only things I kind of want to point out are just that we had the Tyndall Avenue subdivision is now complete, and the bulk water station subdivision is now complete. So those are two subdivisions that were occurring kind of throughout 2024, and so they are now done. And then also that I've been reviewing the forms for building and development in government frameworks, and they've reviewed them and got them back to me. So I'll review them again, and then hopefully soon we'll be able to get those out on the website and active. So
Thank you, Jeff. Do you have any questions or comments for Jeff today? Go ahead, Russ.
I see heliport here. Are we using that?
that's a tough question. I know it was Mr. Stewart will probably be able to answer that better.
No, it's built, it's certified. It's the process happening at the hospital that's holding it up now, right? Something to do with staffing, or maintenance won't clear it off, and they're the ones holding it up, so. Meeting is on Wednesday, this week, actually, Joyce, you do my voice, if you can do that?
I guess so.
Thank you. Great. I think it's this Wednesday. Is it this week? Yeah, you're not gonna do it. You're really bringing the temp.
Jeff will be here.
Jeff will be there. So anyways, that's what's happening, right? It's certified, we could land the chopper there tomorrow, it's just the hospital right now,
Yeah, I
they
just
don't have a process.
seen or heard or like to see it covered in snow.
Yep, and
Yeah.
trust me,
It's
been
all the
cold.
board members are
It's been
hearing it,
cold.
so
Snow removal is the problem.
it is.
So to maintain staff, you have to have someone there all the time.
Oh, they have maintenance there all the time,
Great.
but maintenance doesn't wanna do it.
They need a snow.
They're busy, well, they need a brush.
Couple of shovels.
Yeah, well, I offered to bring my son's hockey team over there with shovels though, to shovel it off, so. And we were gonna go do it, and we were gonna make a practice out of it, kid. We were all gung ho to do it, and they're like, no, it's not that. We'll do that though.
It's a head scratcher. If you need the same hammer that Paul needs.
Unfortunately, we're not dealing with something that's within our control.
This is
It's the SHA,
SH.
and they're the ones that have to actually run the heliport. It's not run by Twin Lakes. So that's. I was gonna save that for my part of the.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I just seen the heliport project here now.
Yeah. That's a good question, and I was gonna save it for when I did the round table. I did part of it now. So I've been working on that with the chair for some time, try to get that going, and with some people at the hospital I know.
So any other questions for Jeff?
In regards to heliport.
Just comment, is it something that administration could send out a letter wondering what the issues are, what's the hold up, and looking at doing grand opening? things like that,
You're gonna be
with the
doing,
pressure on.
Yes, and I haven't had a chance to touch base with David York, the RN of Chartreuse. He's going, he's taking the project under his wing when the
Oh, okay.
CAO and cadet left. So I can reach out to David tomorrow and just see if he's had contact with them.
and I've got our chair involved with people right over there, right?
Okay.
So if you bring that up at the Twin Lakes meeting, then Twin Lakes can ask the town that can formulate a letter and say, why isn't this not being run? Cause that could happen.
They could
It should come from Twin Lakes,
Absolutely.
not from our.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, all those in favor? That's carried. The next one up, it doesn't have a motion with it, the proposed cell tower.
That's for information.
Okay, so there's a proposed cell tower information. It looks like Jeff will be able to speak to that.
Thank you. So this kind of stems from conversations that were held previously with the town and a cellular provider interested in placing a tower on some town property. After extensive communication, it was decided that nothing was going to happen at the time. That cellular provider is now looking at another area in the community and potentially maybe buying some land from a private individual or group. And so it'll still have to be a subdivision and things will have to happen, but if the cellular provider is successful in purchasing some land, then I wanted to just inform council on the process of cellular towers. And so they would have to be in a public engagement session, but it's actually Industry Canada that decides whether or not the application to install a new cell tower will be approved or not. It's not the town. So just to have it be known that the best thing the town can do is to take part in the engagement that the cellular provider has to do, because then the town can also write a letter in support or not of the application when the time comes.
And where it goes.
And where it goes, yeah. So I am reaching out to community planning to see if there's anything additional we can put in our zoning bylaw and kind of some industry standards around cellular towers, just so we can get as much information as we can. So.
Do you have any questions, Jeff?
Where do they wanna put it?
Bottom of the hospital hill.
Bottom of the hospital,
Wouldn't a hole, isn't
They
that
want to purchase land from the church.
Yeah.
from the Ukrainian Catholic too.
the one that we wanna get right of first refusal on? Did we ever do that? Isn't that-
Not officially, but we have a contact with the church group that knows we're interested, and they're almost at the point that they're more interested to sell it to us than to anybody else.
Yeah, and that's a really important thing to do, cause there's a lot of land there that can be developed, that church wasn't to be, so that's why we were talking about getting right of first refusal there. So it might be something we wanna go and
We
take a look,
better
get on that, and then we have that in place, then we can't go put one there if we don't want it there, so if we have the right of first refusal.
Right.
Good thought,
And would that cause any issue with the heliport? Yeah.
They would have to prove that they've communicated with the engineer and that it's not an issue.
Good luck. Sorry, I've communicated with those engineers. It's gonna be an issue, there's no way around it.
And Industry Canada would not approve it if it's an issue, right? Like once the
Transportation
application-
Canada too.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not gonna go there.
Yeah, once the application comes, then with that information.
I don't see, like those engineers and everything, I don't see them approving that. We had to fight just, no, I don't think it's a good idea.
The cell towers aren't that tall, correct?
80 meters.
Oh, they're that high?
The one that they were looking at before was.
Oh, wow.
So do we have any other questions or comments? I've got one, I just know you mentioned, having a policy regarding setbacks and stuff like that. So are we gonna be seeing an update potentially come to cover some of that?
Yes, I am gonna reach out to, well, not reach out, but explore Saskatoon's policy and see what they have, and then see what they have in their zoning bylaw. I know there's differences for what cities can have in their zoning bylaws and what communities can, like smaller centers, so I'm just gonna talk to community planning and see what we can have.
They just put one up
Yeah.
in a residential area in Saskatoon.
Is it worth it for us to go back to that church and actually get something in writing for that land? Because that's something that, I know it's not to do exactly with this, it's
Mhm.
around the issue a bit, but it's something we have discussed. And the reason is there's so much land that's there that
Yeah.
could be developed.
That group is very aware that we're interested in purchasing their land, and they have been in communication with me. So, I mean, I guess we don't have anything. I could, I guess, draft something and provide it to the church group and see if they'd be willing to agree to that. But I guess as of right now, we're in very good communication with
Don't
each
want them
other.
to parcel off that land and start selling it to us. There's good land there for development. Awesome.
The only option that would be to, make an offer to purchase it.
When they're ready to sell.
I thought that there was, as long as there was people active in the church, that land could not be sold. I thought that's what we had discussed before, that was
It's whether
the stumbling block, or where we,
It's whether the church is still active, right? But the church itself folds.
well, if the church folds, yeah, but right now, the way I understood it, as long as there's members, the land won't be sold. I'm sure that's,
There?
Councillor Vic is correct. That is what was stated at the
Okay.
last meeting in discussion.
As long as they have members, right?
Yeah.
So you really wanna be a member?
Right. But that does create a potential issue, yeah, with them parceling off a small piece of it or something, so
Yeah, 'cause I think there's groups that use that.
maybe it would be
Reach out
worthwhile,
this week.
you're right, Jeff, to revisit and have something drafted, cause handshake
Yeah.
commitment isn't,
just didn't work like it.
it doesn't work.
The other issue is, like the parcel is owned, well, the church group is still trying to also figure out who the exact owner of the land is. That way, if the local church group or if the overarching church as an organization has final say. So there's still also some clarification needed on that end.
Should be able to find it, figure out who has title.
But they don't pay property tax.
No.
So it wouldn't be a,
And because it's a Catholic, the Catholic church?
Ukrainian.
Ukrainian.
Catholics.
Ukrainian Catholic. Yeah, but the hierarchy could cause, like Jeff said, some issues like who controls it.
Alright, that's our update.
Okay. Alright, well, we'll keep our ears out for that one later on. Okay, the council hereby authorizes renewal of the existing Fidelity Bond insurance coverage as contained within the certificate of insurance provided through SumaSure for the year 2025. Councilor Fennels? Michelle?
This is something that is required by legislation in the Municipalities Act, that, council shall have a fidelity bond to cover, fraudulent activities by staff. So that just protects the municipality. And right now we have $500,000, and when I reached out to SumaSure, our insurance provider, they advised me that that's the typical amount that municipalities have. So this is just a regular first of the year act that we have to do to protect the residents, taxpayers.
Thank you, Michelle. Do we have any questions or comments on this one? Okay, all those in favor? That's carried. council hereby authorizes a transfer from the Capital Trust Fund, CTF 310100407, in the amount of $98,825.96 to pay for the town of Niplin's share of the service agreement with McDonald's for the off-site construction costs. Councilor Watts. And we'll turn this over to Jeff.
So as kind of discussed in budget, this is the town share of the servicing agreement costs between the town and McDonald's. So McDonald's did substantial road construction work on 12th Avenue, and this is the town share of that construction work. And through the servicing agreement, this is the amount that we agreed to pay after construction was fully completed. We did have a cost estimate done before the work was completed, and that was $70,000, but just with construction costs and additional work, scope of work, it ended up being close to $100,000.
Thank you, Jeff. Do we have any questions or comments?
I can just add to that,
Okay.
that $70,000 was transferred from the stabilization reserve in 2023. However, we did not receive an invoice in 2023, so that payment was never made. We didn't have an invoice. And as there was very little surplus in 22 or 2023, that $70,000 was transferred into general government operating revenue, and it offset some deficits. So there was no money to transfer back into the stabilization reserve. So it looks like we transferred it out at $70,000, and then now we're asking for $98,000, but that $70,000 was used for other municipal bills in that time.
And as discussed in the budget, this $98,000 is half of the actual cost.
So, yeah,
McDonald's
actually,
paid the
yeah,
other half.
yes, it's actually a little less than half. So.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments then? Okay, all those in favor? That's good. The council hereby authorizes the sale of 118 Peters Drive, Lot 27, Block 42, Plan 96PA00667, for a sale price of $23,000, and that ditch construction and site grading in accordance with town requirements shall be completed at the applicant's expense, and that the property purchase shall be eligible to receive a 3-year tax incentive. And Jeff.
So this piece of property was for sale at one time, but then with I guess some drainage issues in the area, council had removed it from the lot listing. Work has been done in that area where there's been new culverts and some new ditches installed, and so I feel that this lot can be listed for sale again. We have a request that someone is interested. I did include an attachment of the house that they're looking to build. They are aware that they'll have to put fill in the property to make it equal with the other lots in the area, which will take care of the surface drainage, and then also that they would have to create ditches where necessary on the edges of the property in conformance with works and utilities. So it's meeting the needs. And we priced the lot at $23,000, as that's the high end of what the other properties paid for, but those properties were purchased quite a few years ago, but this lot will require fill, and also the road's not paved and things like that, so felt like that was a fair price.
Do we have any questions for Jeff? Miss Okay. All those in favor? Thank you. That council council hereby approves the amended paratransit policy number 552. And David.
So this is the adjustment. I think this has been before governance and been to council a couple times in the past. Basically, it's just changing the policy to fit the in-scope services and the ability to have different riders ride the bus and some different approval processes.
Thank you, Derek. You guys have any questions or comments on the policy? Okay. All those in favor? And that's carried. That reports of committees and boards recorded as items 11.1 be received and filed. All those in favor? And that's carried. That council hereby approves the deputy mayor, civic, and committee appointments for 2025 as presented. Everybody's had a last chance to back out.
If I can just make sure.
We do number what? We did items.
Well, we approve.
Committees and boards.
We just received the
Oh,
reports.
okay. I just did that, so.
It's okay.
If I could just make one comment, we still have a couple of vacancies on the library board. They have 3 resignations this year. Actually, I believe she lives at Penrose. She's still on the board, but she's an RN representative, I believe. But we still have 2 vacancies on the Newfoundland Library Board, so if anybody knows of anybody that might be interested, please send them my way.
In your report, you also said you had some vacancies on the regional park board.
We did, but we got, yeah, we had somebody since I wrote the report, we had somebody come.
So you worked for it yesterday. I was just sending someone over to you, I guess it's.
Well, I read that report, or I wrote the report Friday, Thursday,
Oh,
and,
that
yeah,
happened pretty quick.
yeah, and it,
Right. Well, he'll be disappointed when he shows up tomorrow looking to be on the board. We can ask him when he comes. I doubt it.
Any other questions or comments then? All those in favor? That's carried. All right, moving on to the round table. Sorry?
14.2.
Oh, sorry. I thought that was a different paper. That council hereby approves the schedule for regular meetings of council for the year 2025 as follows. Regular meetings of council will be held on the 2nd and 4th Mondays of each month, commencing at 7 p.m., with the exception of the months of July, August, and December, when regular meetings will only be held on the 2nd Monday of the month. And that for the month of December, a second meeting date, if required, shall be determined by resolution of council. And further, that when a regular meeting of council falls on a statutory or civic holiday, the meeting shall be held on the following Tuesday in accordance with the council procedures bylaw. Council Watts. Do we have any discussion? Everybody's happy with that? Kind of the same as it's been for a while, so. Okay, all those in favor? That's carried. Now we're moving on to the round table. we'll just start with Jeff.
I kind of already mentioned it with the Twin Lakes, right? It's fully certified, it's operational, it's just, it's on the SHA to get, everything organized on their end to make sure it gets operational. Other than that, I got nothing else to report.
Thank you, Jeff. Joyce.
I attended the Twin Lakes and some with Jeff and special meeting in December, I think we did it.
Yeah.
Other than that, I got to find out that the airlines are really backed up, and if you're going on a flight or two, enjoy, because it could take a while. I enjoyed our stay in New Orleans. They did have a lot of comments from the people that are working there, that they appreciate people coming and seeing them after their tragedy, and because they really need, that's what they live off of in that area. So it was interesting to see how it happened, and was even right beside the President Biden when he came to speak at the church.
Thank you. Lisa.
I attended my first Wapiti meeting prior to the Christmas break, and this year they've been focused on increasing their chairlift advertising while working towards maximizing the capacity on the ski hills by having multiple schools use the facility at once, whereas before I guess it used to be one school was there at a time. I was disappointed to learn that the Northeast School Division is, despite being the closest local division to the ski hill, that they're actually the least frequent user of this. So that was disappointing to hear. Hopefully that changes, but yeah, I look forward to learning more about that. That's all I've got.
Thank you. Kylie.
I attended the special council meeting in December, and then I had 3 fabulous weeks off from work. I went to Vegas and have to go back to the grind tomorrow. But that's
So
about
you
it.
didn't win in Vegas.
I did not win in Vegas. Come back a loser.
Thank you. Les.
Yeah, not much happened here, worked through Christmas, keeping everything moving, attended the special council meeting in regards to the duplex, and, in the middle of doing some renovations at work, and if anybody wants to sit in the bash Unicode and TSAS and things like that, just, come and hang out. But other than that, it's, I gotta say, this has been a learning experience here, being on council and getting through the budget and stuff, and I thank everybody for tolerating my stupid questions and stuff, but, it's, I've realized it's a very important job, and they take it serious. So I just wanna thank everybody for their patience, and TG.
Thank you. And then Stacy.
I too attended the special council meeting. 3 Christmases and the New Year's, and here we are.
You managed to lose weight too.
Exactly.
All right, I had a few meetings in December for 1 week anyway. December 11th, we had our airport advisory committee meeting. We're still running into some issues there regarding fuel storage, so we're gonna be revisiting some of that. There's some potential for the runway grant that I know we talked about a little bit in budget. There is the potential for some drone business to be coming in as well, as drones become more and more popular. So, also on the 11th is our landfill advisory committee meeting. Unfortunately for that one, it was a discussion only meeting, as we did not have quorum. And mostly discussion hinged around the scale and office installation and trees. So, and that'll be a discussion for down the road. On December 12th, there was the fire partners meeting. It was just a general review with no real pressing issues or concerns. There was some discussion around large drones that are being used in firefighting applications. So I think drones are gonna be changing the way a lot of things happen in the future. On December 13th, I know a few of you guys were there, you probably forgot, you must have had too much fun, but was the Christmas party for the town. And I had a lot of fun. It was a lot of good entertainment and some camaraderie there, so December 23rd was our special meeting. And on January 10th, I attended the SUMA Northern Members Meeting in Prince Albert. And it was just a general discussion meeting with the Northern members. And one thing that I took away is there's a lot of work happening around what's called the Canadian Northern Corridor, which will be a roadway connecting basically Fort McMurray into the Yukon and Northwest Territories across to the port, and then through down Manitoba way. So it's years away, 10 plus, but it's a big project that they're discussing at their level right now. So that's what I'd like to. And I see we have a lot of public forum to talk about tonight, so with that the regular council meeting of January 13th, 2025 be closed with Mayor Zacharias in the chair pursuant to section 122 of the Municipalities Act, concerns for long-range or strategic planning, and citing exemptions contained in the Local Authority Freedom of Information and Protection of Privacy Act under section 17, economic and other interests at 7:46 p.m.